Good morning, and thank you very much for coming to Toronto Police Headquarters. Today, I'd like to introduce to you Detective Constable Michelle Bond from the Toronto Police Service Sex Crimes Unit Child Exploitation Section. She will be speaking to us about Safer Internet Day.
Thank you, Victor. Good morning, everyone. Today is Safer Internet Day, and the Toronto Police Service would like to remind parents, teachers, and children of the need to remain vigilant online for those who may want to take advantage of our vulnerable youth. The internet provides many exciting learning opportunities for children, but it can also open the door for predators to exploit and abuse our children. All devices and most sites or applications have a multitude of safety settings that can easily be turned on or off. We are asking parents to take a minute to review the setting options and determine if they are age appropriate. A geolocation setting can be useful and actually required for some applications to work. However, it can also lead to a predator right to your door. The Toronto Police Service has also been working with the Canadian Centre for Child Protection to distribute educational material on the issue of self-peer exploitation, also known as sexting. According to Signe Arneston, they say in the last few years, the issue of adolescent sexual victimization has become a growing concern for parents, school personnel, and law enforcement across Canada. She is the Associate Director of the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. The impact that sexting has on our youth is evident. They are affected emotionally, socially, and sometimes face criminal consequences. Parents and guardians need to talk to their children about healthy and unhealthy relationships, their personal boundaries, their online activity, and the risk of taking sexualized images. On this day, where the emphasis is on internet safety, we need to take an interest in our kids' online world. It's a world that is not native to some of us, but our kids were born into it, so we must catch up. What devices are they using? What sites and apps are they going to? What type of settings can be activated and/or disabled to make their online world safer? Are they aware of password securities? Who are they talking to online? Do they have some strategies to get out if an uncomfortable situation occurs? Our most fundamental responsibility as a society is to protect our children from those who would do them harm, and that includes the people that are close to them. Let's all work together to keep our kids safe. Any questions? The numbers keep growing as time goes on, but we found a greater increase. And what's more disturbing is the fact that the victims of sexting and self-peer exploitation are getting younger and younger. And that is because we find that younger children now are having electronic devices in their possession. We're not saying that it's wrong to give your children electronic devices, but what we're asking parents to do is to keep an eye on what their children are doing.
When you say younger and younger, what ages are we talking about? And are we talking about communicating with one another or going on internet sites?
We're talking plain and simply about parents talking to the children. And our youngest to date are the ages of 8 years old. So when parents see this and think, well, my kids are too young, this won't affect them yet, they're wrong. Because when they put an electronic device in any person's hand, they open them up to the world, and they can speak to anybody in the world.
Is it the point, too, though, that some of these kids know more than their parents when it comes to these devices?
Absolutely, they do, and because they're born into it. Children know a lot more about devices than parents do, but it doesn't take much to sit down with your children and ask a few questions, such as, let me see who you're talking to. Let me see your chats. And if your child doesn't want you to or is apprehensive, maybe you have a reason to look into it further.
Do you have a further age breakdown when it comes to sexting versus, I don't know what else you break it down, meaning, is the sexting more a high school issue versus an elementary school issue where there you gotta be more?
We found children that are young, that are not in high school, that are being lured by predators online and want to hear different things from them. And children so young are brought up to respecting adults and doing what they're told, so they get caught into that trap. We did a survey in the past summer with our Youth and Policing Initiative. And with that, 140 children did a survey. And they were from the ages of 15 to 19. And what we found with that was that 85% of those children did not have any parental restrictions on their devices whatsoever. We found that almost half of them spent 1 to 4 hours per day on the internet in some form. And we found that after that, there was about 30% would spend 5 to 10 hours on social media. So the children are spending more and more time on the internet doing various things. And we just want to make the parents aware and guardians, as well as educators. We have to watch what our children are doing online.
How plausible or possible is that when you just said the number of hours they're logging, and you can literally hide this device under your pillow, in a book? Should there be some kind of rules at home where it's desktop only, or what are some of the tips for that?
Absolutely. It comes down to, it's all about balance. Parents know their children the best, and they want to trust their children, and we encourage that wholeheartedly. But at the same token, they could have things such as putting a timer on their router in their home where it shuts the internet off to certain devices, not just for the whole house, but just for certain devices. If the children are of a smaller age, of a younger age, they should be leaving all electronics in the family room and not go into their bedroom, because that's where they're alone and they can feel like they can do whatever they'd like to. But just very simple rules. They don't have to be difficult, and you don't have to be tech savvy, but it's just those simple ones one that we always find as well is a lot of parents, they don't know the passwords of their children's devices. So therefore they can't get into them and they can't see them. We encourage parents to find those out. It's very important for them just not to spy if they don't feel like they want to look into their stuff, but have a look and just keep an eye on what their children are doing. Any other questions? Okay. Okay.